happy that this prediction of the Lion of Kashmir, his great father, has come true. Farook Saab had to face many difficulties during the first period of his chief ministership. I'm aware of them. I was in touch with him. We discussed many times. He was good enough to ask for my advice. But he was facing a very, very difficult situation. I don't wish to go into the past. We Indians are in the habit of either glorifying or living in the past. We are in the habit of being pessimistic and cynical about the present. And we're also in the good habit of dreaming about the future. I think we can afford today not merely to dream about the future of democracy and secularism and India, but also to bring it about successfully. And Kashmir has always been the symbol, a shining symbol of secularism in the whole of India, in fact in the whole of this region. And I'm very happy that these forces of secularism and democracy have come out victorious in the recent elections, where the turnout has been even better than was expected, in spite of the very serious threats that were issued by the agents of Pakistan inside the valley and from outside. I'm very happy that Farook Saab has warned all those in Kashmir or outside, those who want to be with Pakistan and not with India. The way is clear for them to go to Pakistan. But if they want to remain in Kashmir and with India, they're welcome to stay on and talk with each other in order that Kashmir may again become the land of our dreams, Jannat-e-Benazir. Not Benazir Bhutto's Jannat, but Jannat-e-Benazir, a peerless paradise of this earth. But Farook Saab, you have our full sympathy and support. But let me tell you, as a friend, as a very old friend of your father's and yours, you have a very difficult task ahead of you. You have to restore the confidence of the minorities in Kashmir who were driven at the point of the terrorist gun away from their hearts and homes. Not only Kashmiri Pandits, so the majority was a Pandit, but also Muslims and Sikhs. About 300,000 Kashmiri Pandits, 50,000 Muslims, and 20,000 Sikhs who had to leave their hearts and homes because of the threats that were issued to them. You have to rehabilitate them. And I'm glad you made statements inviting them back, but you cannot force them to go. You have to create a sense of confidence in their minds. I was born in Baramulla 83 years ago. I remember my childhood when, as boys, we used to roam around all communities, Sikhs, Muslims, Christians, Hindus and others, as brothers. We never had this feeling we belonged to different camps and different ideologies. And Baramulla was the place that gave birth to that great martyr in the struggle of the freedom of Kashmir against the Pakistani hordes, Maqbool Sherwani, who was tied to a pole and shot to death because he would not give up his loyalty and faith in the connection of Kashmir with the rest of India and would not swear loyalty to Pakistan. That was Baramulla. I also remember in 1947 when the raiders from Pakistan made no distinction between Hindus, Sikhs, Muslims and Christians, but killed, abducted, raped, looted, burned even the nuns in St. Joseph's Cathedral in Baramulla, apart from elsewhere. But it was Sheikh Saab's faith in secularism, in democracy, and his national confidence and the J&K militia who backed the Indian armed forces, who went there just in the nick of time to save Srinagar from the airport and then go on to read. But I don't want to go into the details. It's easy to judge past events from the hindsight of today. But let's look to the present and look forward to the future. Farook Sahib, we wish you success in your tremendous task of creating confidence in the minorities, helping them to rebuild their hearts and homes with grants, free grants from the centre and with all facilities of the state. I was glad to read you set up a committee in the state to go into this question. But we are used to so many committees, so many licenses, permits. For heaven's sake, Farook Sahib, get them going, give them a push, take a personal interest in this matter so that this rehabilitation program is fulfilled within a short time span of not more than 6 months. And I assure you, people like me and others will give you all the moral, physical, material support that you may ask for. We are soldiers under your command, but we want you as our commander to act forcefully, forthrightly, and quickly. The second thing I would suggest is, communications are important in the modern age. Please persuade the central government to have a rail link into Kashmir so that trade and commerce and traffic and tourism can be speeded up, not only restored but further strengthened. And please think of the able-bodied, educated, young, unemployed, whose numbers are increasing. Provide avenues of self-employment for them. All of them should not be absorbed in government posts, but give them loans for vocational training, for starting their own business and their own enterprises and ventures. And for this, I hope the central government will give you all the aid that you need. But please also ensure, Farook Sahib, that the money is well spent. I recall when you were Chief Minister, you once said 85% of the grants that are given from the centre go into the pockets of engineers and bureaucrats and contractors, and only 15% is spent on the actual work. Please ensure that this doesn't happen again. We've gone through a lot of suffering, tragedy, sadness in the last 6 years, particularly in the valley. But Jammu and Kashmir state has 3 important parts: Jammu, Ladakh and Kashmir. All 3 must go together, work together, and be a shining example to the rest of India as to how different religious communities, social, ethnic entities can work together for a common goal and objective and make India a really strong, stable, progressive country. The strength of Kashmir and Jammu and Ladakh will add to the strength of India, and the strength of India will add to the strength of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh. With these few words, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to congratulate Farook Sahib for the signal victory that he and his party have won in the recent fair, free elections that were held in the state. And I should like to end with a tribute both to the people of the state who have shown courage and wisdom during these elections, as well as to the security forces who made it possible for the people to go and vote freely in these elections, which would not otherwise have been possible because of the threats issued from across the border. I could say more, but this is not the time. Perhaps on another occasion we'll have a chat and a talk and discussion and see how tourism can be restored, cottage industries can be improved, how trade and traffic can be further increased, and how confidence can be restored among the whole people of Jammu and Kashmir, of all communities, so that Kashmir may be a model state for the rest of India. Thank you.
Now I will request Raja Karan, former Director of CBI, to make his speech.
Honorable Chief Minister, Dr.Farook Abdullah, Dr. Karan, Dr. my old friend Mr. G.V.G. Krishnamurthy, Mr. Karan, and Ms. Aggarwala, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you I am not here as a member of the CBI. I would also like to assure the Chief Minister that the CBI has no role in today's function, and I hope also that the CBI has no role whatever in the state of Jammu and Kashmir in the coming days. I hope there's no occasion for that. I am here on the invitation of Adish Aggarwala, and I think I'm here also because I have been a student of terrorism in India in the past few years, especially during the positions that I held in the government. It gave me an opportunity to study the problem closely. And I'd like to just make a few observations about that. Terrorism in India is not unnatural. India, as a free and diverse country, in any democratic, diverse country, there will be several opinions. Not everyone will be happy. Those who are unhappy can express their unhappiness in several ways. Some express it in violent forms. And if they are a group that takes the face of terrorism, that is why you hardly witness terrorism in a dictatorial regime. It is quite common in a diverse and democratic country like India. Secondly, unfortunately, our democracy has evolved in a rather flawed manner. For the sake of votes, our political parties unfortunately have even pandered to terrorism against it. We have seen it in Punjab. In the northeast, vote banks of infiltrators were created, which fueled insurgency over there. In Kashmir, leader after leader was pulled down. Real democracy was not allowed to grow. When Dr. Farook Abdullah, at one stage, tried to integrate Kashmiri politics with Indian politics, he became a part of the opposition in India. I mean, I think what he did was a very visionary kind of step, but he was pulled down. The other point is that in India, having worked in the top echelons of the government, I have found that our decision-making process, our thinking mechanisms are very, very aberrated. In the government, I was just mentioning to Professor Alak whether he has the time to think at all now that he's the minister. In the government, nobody has the time to think. Most ministers, top government officials have no time to think. They have file after file, meeting after meeting, public functions. If you're a Neta, of course, members of the public thronging around you. So where is the time? Since there's no time to think, decisions are mostly ad hoc. Decisions are taken without any thought process. In America, for instance, there are think tank organizations. If the American president has a problem, he asks a think tank organization to suggest options. What steps should he take? How does he solve the problem? And a think tank organization presents him with various options. And it's for the President of America to choose the option he thinks best. We have no such apparatus in India, unfortunately. As I said, that is why most decisions are taken in a hurry. Cabinet meetings are held. Nobody reads. No minister comes in after reading the cabinet when they are discussing national security issues. I have attended high security meetings in the government. Nobody is prepared. Every 2 minutes there's a phone call in the meetings chaired by the cabinet secretary. Every 2 minutes somebody is coming, somebody is going. There's a call from a minister, says the director of the intelligence bureau is sitting. He has a